Hello, everybody, and welcome to Local Sports Wrap-Up. I am your host, Marty Chinesky, along with my good buddy, Ken Brown. Today is Veterans Day.
Oh, yeah. Happy Veterans Day.
Happy Veterans Day to all the veterans out there and to those that are no longer with us. November 11th, 2024.
Yeah, I got my Army green shirt on for it, just in case.
I like it. I like it.
Make it work.
I wore the jacket they gave me. This is what you get when you work here.
All right.
Coats. That's how they pay you, in food and in coats.
Yeah, I'm
it's a
gaining.
good gig.
Yeah, definitely.
It's
I'm gaining
gig.
weight. That's good, yeah.
I have shirts too. Anyway, football. We talked a lot last week about the big matchup, River Rouge and Riverview. That game was held last Friday in Riverview. And, River Rouge came out on top.
Yeah. Similar to last year, I guess this is their fifth meeting. So they've met already 5 times, and the last 3 times have all been in the postseason. And we know that Rouge beat them last year. I think it was 49-27. But this year, again, it was going to be at the Pirates' home field. And so the Pirates are coming out with that offense and whipping it around and seeing what they could do.
And what do those teams both do? They control the football. Riverview took the opening drive and marched down the field. And if I'm not correct, they led 8-0. It took them over 8 minutes to march down the field, and they punched it in, got the 2-point conversion, 8-0, only 3:50 to go in the first quarter.
Yeah. So if you're River Rouge, you're feeling a little pressure, right? Home team comes down, punches you in the mouth. They drive down the length of the field, and they score, and they get the 2-point conversion. So what Rouge did is they just marched right on down the field themselves. Marched right on down, taking their time, what it would seem. They're both running the ball and controlling the clock. That's their game. So Rouge powers in a run. I think it was a 7-yard run to make the score 8-6.
Correct. Jamari Foster, by the way, punched that ball in.
Yep.
And by the way, so there was 10 minutes to go in the half. So Rouge had the ball basically 8 minutes themselves.
That's right.
8 and some change.
That's right.
So so the trick is to keep the ball away from the other guys. So Riverview gets the ball, and they keep it another 7 minutes. 4 possessions, is that what we figured out?
4 possessions in the first half.
How about that, you know? And if you're sitting in the stands in the cold, is that good or bad?
I think it's good because that clock, when you're running the ball, the clock continues to run. It's not like incompletions. So it's going a little faster than normal.
Yeah.
So just like you said, Riverview takes it down the field, but they do not score, right?
Yeah, they get turn it over on downs.
Yeah.
They get down in there close. I think 20. Yeah, they get down in there close, turn it over. So Rouge just got 4 minutes to go.
Yeah.
Get the ball.
And you're wondering, is that enough time? Because we've seen both of these teams control so much clock. Is 4 minutes enough? But what they do is they take it down the field. And they control the clock for over 4 minutes and some change. I think he ended with 13 seconds. They get another touchdown, running touchdown. I believe this time it was Jacoby Cross, who had a 6-yard run this time. And he puts them up 12-8.
This time they tried to kick, and they missed the extra point kicking.
Okay. So it makes it 12-8.
Rouge gets the ball coming out of halftime, you know. They had extended their lead to 2 scores. They come out the gate, you know. Riverview got the ball and fumbled. And then Mikhail Dowell hit Darrell Folks III for 21 yards and a touchdown. And a successful 2-point run by Carter Scott Wiley made it 22-8, let me say.
All right. And Riverview held I guess, the pattern of continuing to run the ball, grind it down. And they scored again. They got a 1-yard run from Pinkova. Pinkova. Anyway, he got the 1-yard touchdown, and they did not get the kick. All right, so now it's still a 1-possession game.
2014.
Yeah.
2014. So Rouge gets the ball back after Riverview scores. And again, milking the clock, going down the field. But defense stopped them, turned it over on downs. Riverview got the ball back with 3:31 to go. Sounds like a familiar number.
Yeah. Now, just to be clear, Coach, they actually kick a 30-yard field goal and miss. 33.
Oh, that's right.
They
That's
miss a
right.
33-yard field goal, which seems kind of far. And I'm glad
Yeah,
you said that he
Breeze is-
missed the kick on the extra point, which is probably a 15-yard, 20-yard kick.
Yeah.
Anyway, they go for it. They're feeling it because that pretty much puts the game over with, right? It'll be 23-14.
Yes.
They missed the kick. Riverview gets the ball back.
Correct. Sorry, forgot that.
Okay.
And then, they get 3:31, and they cruise down the field. They attempt to march downfield once more, but a fourth down incompletion. And I'm guessing it was like fourth and quite a bit.
Yeah.
Maybe 8, maybe 10. Who knows?
And as much as they run is a little bit a lot, or it's a lot a little bit. You know what I mean? Like they're not in their comfort zone if they have to throw the ball. We just know that based on what we've seen. They've been in the lead most of the year.
Yeah,
so
right,
they're not chasing points mostly.
And even the coach, both coaches were not going to beat up on the other side. They both respect the other side.
Yeah.
And they know they're probably going to see each other next year, because it's just the way the district's set up. You're in the same group. They're going to play them, like you said, they've played them 6 times.
Yeah.
And according to the Rouge coach, that's the 3rd time they've played that type of offense.
This year, so it kind of prepared them a little bit. But he also went on to say that Riverview plays that offense better than any of the other teams that they played.
Yeah.
And we mentioned along the way that Rouge actually played like lack of a better word, a pirate schedule, right? So they were wandering into Ohio and into Canada even to play some different teams. They ended 5-4, just made the playoffs. And he said that they were disappointed in their season. Coach Petway said that, but he was happy that the playoffs start 0-0. So.
Yes. So anyway, we're going next up. Rouge gets to take on Detroit Martin Luther King. And funny, that's a rematch too. The King won that game last year and in Rouge. Now they're going to play it at King.
Yeah.
Kings, and so we will see what happens with that game. We have more results from Division I football. The brackets that are the brackets. No surprise that Belleville ran over Saline 42-7.
Yeah.
No surprise there.
And then Detroit Cass Tech actually beat up on Dearborn 54-17. So Cass Tech will move on because Macomb, Dakota beat up on Utica Eisenhower, so they'll play Dakota in the final 8? Did we say it was 8 teams
Yeah, we're
left?
down to the final 8 in every division. I think it's very interesting. All these teams are district champs, by the way, that are in the final 8 now.
That's right.
Going for the regional touch there. Belleville, though, Belleville's got to play Detroit Catholic Central. And I have to say that that name alone would scare people.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And they're, according to the charts, they've got more points. They're seated higher. So we shall see how that game plays out. Belleville being in the state finals the last 3 years.
Yeah.
That freshman, he was a freshman, now he's a senior. Been to the final game, won it twice, lost on basically the last drive.
Last year.
Yes. And so we'll see if they can get by Catholic Central.
Yeah. And the other interesting thing, out of the 8 teams, they also have Howell left, who actually beat Belleville this year. So there's a lot of good teams left.
Ooh, yeah. Howell's got to take on Hudsonville. In Division II football, Gibraltar Carlson and Joe Krolak
He's rolling.
put a stomping on Livonia Franklin, 35-7. So that gives them a district championship. And they are going to take on another name that scares people, Orchard Lake St. Mary's. Now, let's see, Carlson is seated higher, much higher than Orchard Lake St. Mary's. So we shall see if they can keep the offense and defense clicking.
No, that's a good matchup. And interesting enough, Birmingham Groves will play the other Catholic League survivor, Warren De La Salle. And again, Groves is 78 points in the playoff system, while Warren De La Salle has 67. I still would say I believe that those Catholic League scores are lower. Their point system is lower simply because they're playing tougher competition. So they're getting kids. You know, you're losing some of the games. You're knocking each other out of it.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So.
Anyway, congrats to Carlson for winning their district. And for that right to win their district, they get to play Orchard Lake St. Mary's.
Yeah.
And hey, we're pulling for them.
Yeah.
I'll tell you right now.
I think they're going to do it. Upset alert.
Upset alert. All right. Well, I think they're the favorites. But Orchard Lake St. Mary's, pay for play.
Yeah.
Anyway, we already talked Division III, Rouge and Riverview. Rouge gets to take on King. King took care of Grosse Pointe North, another name that should scare you, 62-28. That's a stomping.
Yeah, that's the over. Yeah.
That's the over. Yes, it is. We don't know anything about that, though.
In Division IV, we had one tie to downriver. We had Dearborn Divine Child. They actually lost to Harper Woods, 40-21.
Correct.
So Harper Woods will play Macomb Lutheran North, and that's kind of probably the closest. Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about the closest we
The
got.
only one, and then in Division V, the two teams that were left, Romulus was playing Ann Arbor, Gabriel Richard. Unfortunately, Romulus lost 35-12. So Ann Arbor Father Gabriel Richard is going to have the right to play Flat Rock.
Yeah.
Now, Flat Rock seems like a solid unit. They took care of the Detroit Voyager Prep 56-38. So Flat Rock has scored 40 and 56, while Gabriel Richard has scored 51 and 35.
Yeah, it sounds like a shootout. Yeah, Flat Rock's got 96 points over the two games, so it's 48 points a game. They're hot and ready for the
Over-under
playoffs.
is probably 70.
It's got to be. Yeah, it's tough.
Anyway, they're going to play each other for the right to play either Pontiac Notre Dame Prep, who's also rolling with points. They took care of a team Corona 56-7, and then Armada, they won their game 63-0. So that's who you get to play next.
Yeah,
one of those
congratulations. Yeah, congratulations.
And our last local team.
Which is Division 8, right?
Division
and then last week, I think we did the story where Mr. DeSena actually got the field named after him.
Correct.
For donating a portion to getting the stadium ready.
Fixing that mud hole.
Yeah, fixing that mud hole. So what they did is they parlayed that into a district championship.
Nice.
Riverview Gabriel Richard beat Manchester, not Manchester United, but Manchester High, 44-26.
A lot of goals in a soccer game.
Yeah, that's a bunch of goals. We had a great picture. There they go, district champs. Congratulations.
On their new field.
Yeah.
And that's the Gabriel Richard, Riverview Gabriel Richard, and that gives them the right to play Detroit Loyola, who rolled, well, I wouldn't say rolled because it was Rochester Hills, Lutheran Northwest. That game was 60-40. Wow. I don't think anyone punted.
Yeah, they couldn't have. Not many times at all. Yeah, that's a good game. 60-40, 100 points across the board. It's not bored. You couldn't sit down and go get popcorn or anything, huh?
Nah, you'll miss something. So those two will play for the right to play Decatur or Reading, who I will say that out of the teams remaining, Riverview Gabriel Richard's got the better seating on the lower side of the bracket. They have 48 points, and I mean, or 42.
Yeah.
And everybody else in the final two there, everybody else is under 35.
Yeah.
So we shall see.
I'm thinking whoever wins that Gabriel Richard and Detroit Lola game will win the state championship for Division 8.
Think so?
Yeah. It's going down. You heard it here first.
We'll have to check on what the odds makers think about all that. So that's your division football. Next week, we will be down to the final four in each division. And then Thanksgiving weekend, they will play, they'll play at Ford Field.
Yeah, generally, yeah.
Generally Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, right after the big game. The big game on Thursday, and then they let the high schools come in. I always thought that was a nice touch.
Yeah.
That the
And
Lions
I
did.
think they play 4 a day. They play 4 on one day and 4 on the next day, and they also have the 8-man get to play in there too.
That's cool.
Interesting concept, 8-man football.
Yeah, it's got to be like pass skeletal or 7-on-7, I would think. I don't know.
Similar.
Yeah.
So let's get to volleyball because we do have.
Let's start with the game.
Yeah, start with the game. We had two teams locally that had to play each other in the district final, and that was
Allen Park Jags.
Allen Park Jags versus our Wyandotte Roosevelt Bears.
All right, let's see what happens.
Let's see what, I was looking for this.
Drum roll.
Drum roll.
Yeah. Well, good and bad is that Wyandotte did make it to the district finals to go up against Allen Park. However, Allen Park was victorious in a three-set ordeal that took place.
They were in Allen Park.
Definitely at home. Allen Park has been their third straight district, so they were already back-to-back going into the game. So they were going to be the toughest draw. The Bears gave a valiant effort, but they fell a little bit short.
It was 25-19, it was 25-20, and it was 25-18. I mean, the Bears took care of Lincoln Park last week, and Allen Park took care of Melvindale. So then they got the right to play each other.
Yeah.
And the Bears, Allen Park's always solid. They've won districts and regionals, and they. And in fact, every game they call it the race to 15 in volleyball. You want to get there first, And the Bears, like every time, get to like 13 first, but then Allen Park would go on a run like 7-1 or 5-1 or something, and they'd get to 15 first. Not that wins the game for you, but internally it makes you feel better.
Yeah, you definitely can tell the difference when you get there. Kids are really excited about that. Yeah, they fought a good fight, but those 5-1 spurts will just kill you over time.
Absolutely. So that's what we have there. You have to. They're setting the regionals, and we've got some regional brackets here. And the thing is, Allen Park wins and gets the right to play Ann Arbor Skyline.
Yeah,
that's a Ypsi team.
Ann Arbor, close
Ann
to
Arbor.
Ypsi, but
They're playing at Ypsi Lincoln.
Yeah, so it's probably in that same region. Skyline's in Ann Arbor, but it's like the newer school, not Huron, not Pioneer. It's the school that came after I left. Yeah.
And then in the other bracket with them, we are down to the final 32, correct? Yeah. It's the first round, basically. These are all district winners. Dearborn High took care of their district, so they got to take on Temperance, Bedford.
Yeah, Bedford's always good. Are we in D1 still?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Allen Park will get a chance to play the winner of Bedford and Dearborn, right?
Yeah, if they can move on, absolutely.
And that game will take place on November the 12th. The other game that I thought was a good one is it's going to be played in Novi, but it's Northville versus Farmington Hills Mercy.
Ooh.
Farmington, yeah.
We've gone to tournaments that played Mercy. They're always solid.
Yeah, Farmington Hills Mercy is actually rated number 1. Detroit Renaissance lost to them in the district finals on Friday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they advanced to that. And, they're going to be tough. They're going to be a tough out.
They are. Aren't they returning champs, Farmington Hills Mercy?
And I know they were rated high. I don't know if they end up finishing it. You know what I mean? Because in softball, they didn't finish it either, and they were rated number 1 throughout. But they did not get the state championship. So I'm not sure if they did in volleyball, but they're a powerhouse.
And in Division II, a couple local teams are still around. Dearborn Divine Child is going to take on Detroit Cesar Chavez. They're district champs. Detroit Edison's taking on Ferndale. And Carleton Airport gets to play Tecumseh.
Yeah.
And the funny thing about these setups is that they don't have the numbers like football where your wins and losses. Everybody kind of gets into the districts. They'll have pre-districts to eliminate the poor teams. And then, the weaker teams.
I got you. Yeah.
And then the only other one local is Detroit Country Day.
Yeah, and they'll go up against Harper Woods Chandler Park. I could see that being a paddling, a lesson. It could be a lesson.
A lesson. Games are to 25. Just Division III in volleyball, there's only 4 divisions. The only team left local is Allen Park Cabrini. And they get to take on Monroe St. Mary Catholic Central.
Yeah.
That sounds scary.
And I'm still in one local team for us too, Coach. Right above that, the winner of that Allen Park Cabrini and Monroe St. Mary's would be they're going to play Detroit Crystal Ray against Plymouth Christian.
Oh, okay.
Crystal Ray is formerly Detroit Holy Redeemer.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, it's good to see those small schools get some ink. I like it.
Absolutely. And the other thing, and the Division IV, who is a perennial powerhouse, they've made it to the Final 8. They've made it to the Final 4 on more than one occasion. Inner City Baptist,
Yes.
local team right there by
Yes.
us, and they're going to take on Clarkston to get there. Of course, this is all on November 12th.
Yeah.
They're going to take on Clarkston Everest, and think about Inner City Baptist. They won another district.
Yeah, they
you
did.
know? And them district trophies start to add up at the schools. I had a school come in, a guy come in. They gave him the trophy. School's guy said, "We got no more room for this. Can you make this nice for me?" I said, "I'll make it nice for you." He said,
nice.
"Yeah." He said, "They told me I could take it home." I said, "What are you, the booster? You the guy with the money behind the thing?"
Yeah, NIL deals. I got you.
I said that with love too. But yeah, that's really the only local team in Division IV that made it out of their district.
You're right. Yeah, I saw that. Good luck. Let's
Yeah,
go.
Inner City
Let's go, Allen
Baptist.
Park,
They'll be
Inner
down
City
to the
Baptist.
final 16 in those divisions next week. Actually, the games go the 12th to 14th. So by the time we get back on, we'll be down to the final 8.
Good. It'll be
Yeah.
good to see who's.
Because volleyball, I guess they don't have to rest as long.
No, they're going to go twice a week. Yeah, makes sense.
And they'll get the rest. Then they'll go back the 19th. So when we get back here on the 18th, we'll be able to talk about the matchups. So as we got about 6 minutes left there, sir, we did have some news about my bowling is starting. Tryouts the 14th,
Okay.
15th of November, first day we could practice. Have to have tryouts first. I'm going to probably have about 15 kids to pick from.
Okay.
So hopefully that'll.
You want to carry all 15, or are you going to carry like a JV too?
I'd like to carry all of them. I mean, it all depends how much. First rule, we've talked about this. If you're going to take up a new sport, and I had a couple of pre-show-ups, try to get them equipment, do that kind of stuff. Passion. Show me a little passion that you want to get better.
Yeah.
I had a girl never threw a ball before in her life. I started her out one stepping at the line, and by the hour and a half, when we were done, she was hitting the head pin with regularity.
Nice.
Taking 3 steps. Taking it, roll it out there.
She's a natural.
Then I just laugh at them and I go, see how easy this game is?
Yeah.
This game's so easy. So easy. I shoot 680 one night and then I shoot 540 the next.
it's
I love
humbling.
it. I
It's
love the
humbling.
game.
Yeah,
I love the game. We do got a little swimming. Allen Park, we're going to have to stop going Woodhaven and start going Allen Park. They clinched the Downriver League meet. That's the final meet of the year. And they did it. The season, the funny way the season works in the Downriver League, it's determined by a 50-50 split of both the regular season dual meets as well as the end of season league-wide meet, which this was. Schools earn a point value based on their final placing in each category, 8 points for first, 7 for second, blah, blah, blah. So during the season, Allen Park got 7 points. They were 6-1.
Okay.
And Carlson was 6-1, Roosevelt was 6-1. They all got 7 points. So they basically tied. And on the end of it, after the conclusion of the championships, the overall standings at the bottom there, Allen Park had 15 points. And followed by Carlson's
13.
Then Roosevelt and Woodhaven tied with 12 for third place in the league.
Yeah. That's a stacked league, though. Everybody's 6-1.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a pretty good league.
and Woodhaven's perennially the squids, as we like to call them,
Yeah.
because they generally they're competing for the league and everything, but they're out of the volleyball and they're out of the swimming. But individually in swimming, it's interesting, and we'll talk more about that when we get to state finals. A certain time that you post in these meets qualifies you for states.
Yeah.
So as long as you knock it under 2 minutes in the 500-meter relay or whatever, you're in.
You're chasing a number.
Yeah.
Chasing the clock. I like that. You're not necessarily racing another opponent. You're racing against the time.
Yep.
You know. So.
And some of these aqua field pools, they're designed so you go faster. The waves, the wake, and all that. You know that little rubber thing that goes between the lanes?
Mm-hmm.
It's designed to absorb the waves.
Wow.
Yeah, so that if you're trailing by 6 feet, you're not in somebody's wake. You know? So that
You're not catching all the water coming from them.
Correct. So the technology has gotten good.
Look at you.
I read.
I like it.
I like to read. All right, we got a few minutes. Lions game yesterday.
Woo.
Holy cow. I bailed on them. I'm so mad at myself.
Yeah.
I bailed on him. I took the cash out.
You couldn't. I can't blame you though, because it looked bad. He had 5 picks, and it wasn't looking great. Man, the resilience of coming back from a guy throwing 5 picks and to come back and win it, man, they're destined. They're destined for. It looks like they're destined for greatness this year, and that's the truth.
That was something else, and I just want to say it was a long night. That game was slow. You know, it was almost midnight when it finished up, or 11:40 or whatever.
Yeah.
It was late, and so I was feeling it this morning a little bit. How about you?
Yeah, no, I watched most of the game. I watched the game. A lot of my buddies went. I didn't
Really?
go. Yeah.
See,
it was Detroit take over Houston, so a lot of people went down there.
I think the one to take over next that I might get my nose in is Chicago New Year's weekend. It'd be fun to be in Chicago for New Year's, but also it's like the 30th of December, and it's a 4-hour car ride.
Yeah.
Buy your tickets now. Go take over their stadium.
Yeah.
You know, because their Bears aren't going to be any good by then. Okay. They're not good now,
Yeah,
but they're not going to be any good by
at
then.
all. They didn't look good. Michigan got smoked. Indiana's never been 10-0.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, football has been great this year. It's just a lot of upsets and a lot of different people that are involved in the championship that we haven't normally seen.
All right, so next week we will have down to the final 4 in football, right, in each division. And we'll go from there. We will explain everything that's going on, how our local teams did. I am Marty Chinesky. That is my good buddy Ken Brown. We like to drink.
Yeah, every once in a while. Happy Veterans Day. Happy birthday, Scott Free.
Yeah, there you go. Happy Veterans Day, everyone. Hi, Mom. We will see you next week.